We'll start this morning with some big breaking news. Positive news for Arsenal, because centre-back Gabriel has signed a new long-term contract at the club.
Crystal Palace make their stance over Eberechi Eze crystal clear as the summer transfer window moves into its decisive stages, setting a valuation that is as much a statement of ambition as it is a negotiation tactic. They insist that any club wanting the England international must pay between £70 and £80 million, a price tag that instantly places him among the most expensive players in Premier League history. With his current contract running until 2027, Palace have no pressure to sell, and they know that holding a key player on a long-term deal gives them enormous leverage. The club is calm, measured, and calculated in its approach, unwilling to let the clock or the noise dictate their strategy. Behind the scenes, they are communicating the same message to every inquiry, whether it is a subtle question from an agent or a direct approach from a sporting director. Eze is not leaving unless the terms are extraordinary. At the heart of the stance is a belief that Eze's value to Crystal Palace extends far beyond transfer market numbers. His creativity, flair, and ability to decide matches with moments of brilliance are integral to Oliver Glasner's plans for the season. Palace have built much of their attacking rhythm around him, and replacing his influence in August, with so little time left to recruit, would be a near impossible task. The valuation, therefore, is not merely about what Eze is worth in the open market. It is also about the cost of disruption, the risk to their campaign, and the message it would send to fans and players if they allowed a star to leave under pressure. Glasner has already made public comments praising Eze's importance, making it clear that while he understands the unpredictability of the transfer market, the preference is to keep him. For Arsenal, this stance creates a complicated puzzle. Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar admire Eze's versatility, technical skill, and tactical intelligence. They view him as someone who can play across midfield and forward lines, offering rotation options for Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, and Gabriel Martinelli. In Arteta's system, positional flexibility is gold, and Eze ticks that box in abundance. But the numbers involved in this transfer are daunting. Arsenal broke their transfer record last summer to sign Declan Rice for £105 million, a deal carefully structured over installments and balanced by outgoing sales. Meeting Palace's £70 to £80 million demand would again require creative accounting, player sales, or financing methods that do not breach the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. This is why, despite the intense speculation, Arsenal have yet to table an official bid. Internal discussions revolve around timing, whether to strike now, risking a bidding war, or wait until late in the window, banking on Palace softening their stance if replacement targets are lined up. But Palace appear wise to that tactic, privately signaling that they are prepared to reject late bids if they do not meet the valuation, regardless of the risk of losing a large payday. From their perspective, losing Eze without time to replace him could harm the team's performance and league position, which in itself carries financial consequences far greater than a transfer fee. Tottenham Hotspur's name continues to hover in the background, and although Spurs are focusing on other targets at present, their history of moving late in the market makes them a potential disruptor. Manchester City's interest is more strategic. They monitor situations like this in case their own squad planning changes, particularly if there are departures such as Bernardo Silva or Jack Grealish. Palace are aware of these dynamics and use them to reinforce their position. If Arsenal know they are not the only suitor, the pressure to act decisively grows, which is exactly the kind of tension Palace can use to maintain their valuation. Eze's own position is equally important in this saga. Publicly, he remains professional, focused on training, and committed to Palace's immediate matches. Privately, it is understood that he is open to a move if the right project and financial terms are on offer. Arsenal, with their Champions League football and competitive squad, are an attractive proposition. Yet Eze is also conscious of the dangers of forcing a transfer. Palace have been good for his development, giving him consistent playing time, tactical freedom, and the platform to make the England squad. Leaving on bad terms could tarnish that relationship, and in football, reputations matter, especially for a player still in the peak building phase of his career. From the financial angle, Palace's £70 to £80 million valuation is not without precedent. Clubs in the Premier League have increasingly paid premium prices for top domestic talents. Jack Grealish's £100 million move to Manchester City and Declan Rice's £105 million transfer to Arsenal are prime examples. In each case, the selling club held strong due to the player's long contract and their importance to the team. Palace are following the same playbook, and their chairman Steve Parish is experienced in transfer negotiations, known for his willingness to hold his ground even when big clubs come knocking. This is a negotiation style rooted in the modern understanding that Premier League status is itself a massive financial asset. Losing that by selling key players recklessly is a risk no club should take. The situation also highlights the wider shifts in Premier League transfer culture. Gone are the days when smaller clubs were forced to sell their best players cheaply. The broadcasting revenue, sponsorships, and global brand strength of even mid-table teams mean they can now resist unless the deal is right on their terms. Palace's valuation of Eze reflects this reality. They do not see themselves as a stepping stone club. Instead, they are building a project capable of competing for European places in the near future. Selling Eze under value would undermine that vision. In Arsenal's camp, the debate continues over squad priorities. With injuries, fixture congestion, and the need for depth, adding Eze could be transformative, but the financial cost might restrict movement in other areas. The Gunners are also monitoring outgoings, with players like Emile Smith-Rowe and Eddie Nketiah linked to potential exits that could help raise funds. Edu and Arteta must balance short-term ambition with long-term sustainability, a challenge every top club faces in this era of tight financial rules. They know that while Eze fits the footballing vision perfectly, this is not a deal that can be rushed without careful structuring. As the days tick down, the mood in the market shifts from slow negotiation to rapid, high-pressure decisions. Agents work phones around the clock, intermediaries test the water, and journalists chase every whisper. Palace hold the advantage now, but the transfer market has a way of producing surprises when deadlines loom. Arsenal may yet decide that Eze is worth the premium, especially if they see an opportunity to steal a march on rivals. Palace, however, are ready for that scenario. Their message is consistent: meet the asking price or walk away. The player is not for sale on the cheap, and they are prepared to back that statement with action. In the training ground at Beckenham, Eze continues to work with his teammates, showing no signs of distraction. Those close to him describe a focused professional who understands the speculation but keeps his mind on performance. The club supports this mindset, keeping him shielded from unnecessary media exposure and ensuring his preparations for matches remain uninterrupted. In doing so, Palace strengthen their bargaining position. They can show potential buyers that the player is settled, committed, and ready to contribute if he stays. The final weeks of the window are a test of nerve as much as a test of resources. Arsenal must decide whether to stretch financially for a player who could elevate their attacking options for years to come. Palace must weigh the benefits of a massive payday against the risks to their season's ambitions. Eze, in the middle of it all, must prepare for every eventuality, knowing that in football, circumstances can change in an instant. What is clear is that Palace's £70 to £80 million valuation is not just a number, it is a line in the sand, a declaration that they will not be bullied or rushed, no matter who comes calling. Crystal Palace's unwavering position over Eberechi Eze's future is becoming one of the defining stories of the late summer transfer window. The club's leadership is clear, deliberate, and unflinching in their demand: if you want Eze, you meet the £70 to £80 million valuation in full, or you do not get him at all. This is not a soft guideline, not a starting point for haggling. It is the number they have identified as the true value of the player to their footballing project, their balance sheet, and their long-term ambitions. Eze's contract, secure until 2027, forms the steel spine of this negotiation stance. In modern football, contract length is not just paperwork, it is leverage, it is security, it is a weapon in the chess game of the transfer market. And Palace are using it expertly.